What's going on YouTube? It's simply Phenomenal 97. This is my first video on my wrestling channel. And for you people that are subscribed to my TTC channel, which is Garnet and Black 56, go ahead and check that out. It's mostly football videos and some baseball here and there. But this is mostly my wrestling channel now. And for my first video, I'm going to recap TNA Impact on July 26, 2012. To start the show, Sting comes out to a very good crowd reaction, like always. Excuse me. Sting has this announcement that he is the new GM since Hogan is hurt from the attack on the group called Aces and Eights, which I still have no clue who these gentlemen are. I can't find anything about them. I'm hoping something will come up soon. Then Aries comes out while Sting is talking, and he calls out the Aces and Eights. And the next thing you know, Angle comes out, and he does the same thing. Then Rude comes out, and Rude starts saying James Storm is the man behind all these attacks. And the funny thing is, whenever he starts his promo, is Rude's mic stops working, and Aries takes a phenomenal shot at him. He says, "Bobby, that's what happens when you're not a champ anymore," and it was just hilarious. I found it very funny. Like I said, he said that James Storm is, you know, all over, or is the leader of the attacks, and this causes Storm to come from the back, and him and Bobby start brawling. And they take it to the ring, and Aries, Angle, and Sting just sits in the ring and watches them fight until eventually, about 2 minutes later, Angle breaks it up, and then we have our first commercial break. Whenever we come back from commercial break, Tara, Kid Cash, and Kurt Angle are all plugging Chavo's debut, which I hope they do something very well with Chavo. I hope they just don't throw him aside like the WWE did so many times. Then we go backstage to Bobby talking about, once again, James is behind the man, or is the man behind the excuse me, James is the man behind the attacks, and saying that he was tag partners with that man for 4 years, and he knows how he clicks and how he acts, and he leaves the arena in a very angry manner. Then our first match of the night is Gail Kim and Madison Rayne versus Mickie James and Tara. This match, to start it off, had a lot of acrobatic chain wrestling, which I always like. One thing I love about TNA and I don't like about WWE is that their women can wrestle. In TNA, it's not just about the looks. You actually got to be able to get in the ring and fight. Throughout the match, Madison looks like she's paying more attention to Earl Hebner and that little storyline crush that she has going on with him. Tara, as always, shows that she's a very dominant woman. She's one of the strongest people in TNA besides ODB in the woman division, or the knockout division. There was a good spot. Tara and Mickie James did a leg roll on Madison Rayne, which eventually turned into a Boston Crab, a double Boston Crab at that. And Gail goes to the top and tries a double drop kick, and she gets caught into the Boston Crab as well. Now, at the end of this match, Mickie rolls up Madison, and Mickey's shoulders ends up getting pinned down instead of Madison's, and it ended very weird. It was a good match for a knockout tag team match. And Mike Tenay makes the announcement that those 4 women will be in a fatal 4-way to determine the number 1 contender for Tess Marker. Y'all know who she is, for her title. And another plug is made for Chavo after the next commercial break, and it's Hernandez, Gunner, and Bully Ray plugging Chavo once again. Once again, it seems like TNA is going to do big things with Chavo, and I hope so. It's gut check time, guys. Sam Shaw, he looked very good, very good. He faced Doug Williams. Doug came out to a lot of heat, which is always good. Doug is always that snooty Englishman, which he plays the character very well. I made a little note watching Impact last night. Shaw looked like he had a bathing suit on. It looked straight up like a bathing suit, and it just made me laugh throughout the whole match. Shaw looked very athletic, very fast. He had a very good drop kick. I was very impressed by the momentum he had at the beginning of the match. He had decent power for a guy that looks like he could fly. But in the middle of the match, Joey Mason, or I believe that's his name, I cannot remember his name to save my life, distracts Sam Shaw and punches Al Snow, which was very huge. It made Taz very upset. This led to Williams taking over the match, and he hits the London Chaos to win the match. Aries is backstage after this match, and he's talking to all the X Division wrestlers, talking about who will face Zema Ion for the title later that night. Sanjay Dutt has improved his mic skills very well by the way he was talking in the back to all the guys and to all the X Division guys. I was very impressed by his mic skills, how good they've gotten. In the end of the first segment, Aries and Cameron, they end up getting into a little argument, and Cameron gets cut. Now we go to the commercial break, and whenever we get back, Chavo makes his debut. Chavo goes out there and he talks about his family pretty much. He talks about how his family, they've always wanted to win titles in every promotion that they've been in across the country, and the only one that they haven't won one in is TNA. And hopefully he gets the TV title or the X Division strap so he can complete his journey. Now Kid Cash and Gunner. Sorry guys, hold on, I got a text message. Alright, yeah, sorry about that. Well, Kid Cash and Gunner, they come out and they interrupt Chavo's little promo, and Cash takes a shot at their family, asking Chavo where is his family at now, and where has Chavo been, because he's been out wrestling for a while now. Chavo and Cash ends up brawling, and Gunner jumps in, and Gunner and Cash gangs up on Chavo until Hernandez, Supermix, comes out and helps Chavo out. I would love to see these guys tag team. They would have good power and good speed combination there. It looked very well. But I think that would be a pretty decent tag team in my opinion. You know, just to have a little extra tag team on the side if the TNA needed it. Then we go backstage. Kurt Angle and James Storm is talking about what Bobby said earlier, and James defends himself to clear the air, and that's the end of that little segment. And the segment ends with Angle walking off and James having a weird look on his face. Now Taz, Al Snow, and Bruce Pritchard is backstage talking about Shaw and how, I think his name is Joey, how he distracted the match and how he messed Shaw up, and just talked about the whole situation. Nothing big there. Then after that, we go to commercial, and then we come back, and we get another video package for the Crack Baby storyline. That's what I call it. And, this storyline is taking so many twists and turns. They just need to end it at the end of the summer and put Styles in the title picture, or try to put him in the title picture. And, this is too much for me. I hate it. Alright. This is probably the match of the night. Styles versus Storm, and Claire is ringside for this match. And, you seem to think she'll be distracting. This was an amazing match. This is why I love TNA, but I hate how they let Aces and Eights interfere. This had amazing action and great counters, and it was just a great match. But Aces and Eights interfered, and I tell you what, I was surprised that Claire didn't interfere, or Daniels, or Kazarian. And, I don't know if it's poor booking or good booking, not doing that storyline this week hardly, except for the video package. But it's okay to step away from a storyline for a minute or two. It's okay sometimes. Well, we get a gut check decision in the same night as well, and I guess they're making up for lost time. I love Shaw's Superman tattoo. It's very creative. I just caught my eye last night. In the end, Al Snow says no, Pritchard says yes, and Taz says yes. Shaw cut a good promo about Taz, and how Taz was trying to break into the company whenever he was a younger guy, and how he would claw his way to get into the company, and I guess that helped. Now we go backstage for another X Division cut, and Dakota is out. There ain't much to say about this one. Aries just basically tells Dakota it's out. He's out. Now, after a commercial break, we come back and we go to another backstage segment for the X Division title match, and it's between Kenny King and Sanjay Dutt. And Aries is talking to the guys, making his final decision. And Bruce Pritchard accidentally walks into the frame, and it's just a hilarious shot. That's what happens whenever it's live TV. You can't fix things like that. It's okay, but Pritchard made sure to run out of the shot as fast as he could. And Kenny King is your winner to face Zema Ion next. Now, Zema Ion and Kenny King was a decent X Division match. It was a decent X Division title match. I believe, Kenny King will be champion soon. Hopefully, Jesse Sorensen and Zema Ion, whenever Sorensen gets back, hopefully they'll have a good rivalry. And if Zema has the belt, hopefully Sorensen could get it in the end and, cash in at, I forgot the name, Destination X. Now, getting on to this match, Kenny shows a lot of his speed to start the match off with, and he's just a phenomenal wrestler. He's the next Austin Aries, in my opinion. A lot of people call him crazy for it, but I believe he is the Black Austin Aries. Zema Ion does an amazing flip dive and lands on his feet, which reminded me of Jerome Harrison, that played for the Cincinnati Bengals, that plays for the Minnesota Vikings now. Somehow, I believe Ion busted his mouth open doing that move, because he smiled and he had a little bit of blood in his teeth. Nothing wrong with blood. Blood always adds to the effect. Throughout this match, Kenny was throwing kicks left and right. But Kenny gets knocked outside. Next thing you know, Bobby comes in. He slams King's head into the ring post and rolls him back in, and Zena hits a moonsault and end it. Nobody knows why Bobby did it. Everybody thinks Austin and Kenny are really good friends, and a lot of people seem to think that Bobby did it because of that reason. Because Aries attacks Bobby right after he does that, pretty much. That's a little thing to keep their rivalry going and to hype their matchup a little bit for Hardcore Justice. Then our main event for the night is Bully Ray versus Kurt Angle. A lot of back and forth action between these two. A very physical match, and Angle wins with the Angle Slam. And of course, at the end of the match, Aces and Eights attacks. It seems they're getting too predictable with the Aces and Eights attack. They need to make them more sneaky, make them come out of nowhere. Now, I'm not against male on female violence, but something a lot of people can't see coming is if Tara or ODB is having a match, they're tough women. I mean, they're very strong women. They're very tough. They're very China-esque, you could say. Have Aces and Eights come out and, like two members, have them come out and, attack the woman. Or you can have, like, a woman in the Aces and Eights to come out and attack. I'm just spitballing here. I'm not saying that's a great idea, but, I'm just spitballing. TNA needs to make the attacks more unpredictable, like how they were in the past few weeks. After Aces and Eights attacks, Aries, Styles, and Sting and Storm hits the ring and starts clearing house. And everybody thinks, okay, the end of Impact, they're going to stand in the ring, they're going to pose, that's going to be it. But actually, Impact ends with James Storm and Kurt Angle arguing, and Mike Tenay makes the announcement that Kurt Angle and James Storm will face next week in Bound for Glory Series match, I believe. So, overall, I give Impact a 3 out of 5. It had good matches, had some good matches. Well, no, 3.5 out of 5. Let's go 3.5 out of 5. The matches were good, especially the AJ Styles and James Storm match. That stole the show for tonight. I wish the X Division match would have been a little bit better. The Bully Ray and Kurt Angle match was very physical. It was a very good match as well. But they need to, like I said, they need to make their Aces and Eights attacks less predictable. I wasn't surprised by the attack at the end of the show, so they need to make it a little less more predictable. But that's it for this one, guys. Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for giving me your almost 15 minutes to listen to this commentary, and I will catch y'all later. I hope y'all have a good week.